Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's tutorial, we are going to be making a no-sew junk journal. Now, you may have never heard of this before, or maybe you have, but I have definitely gone down a rabbit hole with trying to get into junk journaling and trying out a bunch of styles, I would say. So I follow a couple of lovely creators that have been doing this a long time, and obviously I watch their videos and I'm always like, man, that looks so fun. I should try it. For me though, I think too, I never wanted, not to say invest too, but never like use what I call like a good journal and then add the junk to it, because I'm like, it's not worth it. And because I think sometimes too, when I see it done with the hardcover journals and they expand so much to be like alligator mouth, that I don't enjoy that. But when I came across a creator named Thrifty Day, she uses a composition notebook. And when I finally saw that video, I was like, that's the version I need, because it's a soft cover. I feel like the thinness, or middle of the road, not being a hardcover, makes it a little bit more easier to be expandable. Okay, and since it also makes it like less precious. Okay, so that I can try it out, so that I can start, like, because I keep all the packaging and things like on my desk too, like an effort to almost either keep it in my scrapbooking or keep it in my project life. And then when it doesn't, I have these piles of like packaging and clothing tags and receipts and menus that then don't get used, especially if I don't put them into an album in any sort of way. So this would be like my fix to having that stuff have a place, so that way it becomes almost like logged in here. So as far as supplies, you need a composition notebook. They are 50 cents now at Walmart and Target. Because of back to school, get yourself a composition notebook that we will be covering with scrapbooking paper. Now, she shows it being done either with, our scrapbooking paper that will cut down and make covers. So, we all have a plethora of different kind of ones. I just pulled a few just from my stash right now. So, scrapbooking paper to cover the front and back covers, and we're also using it to cover the inside cover, okay? Her take on it also as an alternate, because in her versions, she goes through a lot of like children's books and also collages like images from it. So I do have a few books that I had already ripped up and have used pages in a previous junk journal I made that I don't think I ever showed here, because I made it off camera following a tutorial, and then I use it, this one, as like almost like notes to my daughter. And so this book, all these pages and stuff, I had gotten books from like the free little libraries, or the library itself when they have their sale books, and that's where I found them. So these books in here that you see the pages of, and some comic books, and you can see how I've added little things in here, is where these pages came from. I never made a tutorial about this, but I just have this in the works, and this is where it started, my love for it. So I have some book pages, because with Thrifty Day, she always finds like a main image and also cuts it up for her cover. Okay, so if you want some children book image, that could be the alternative, or just having cardstock and scrapbook paper. So I even have a Winnie the Pooh one that I use and stuff. So like I have other images that I could use, or even use as insert pages, because that's what she does too. So she just takes some of these, like trims them down to fit into the book, and then just uses, which you also need, some scotch tape, and she just makes it in there and almost creating like a tip-in page. So we'll be doing that as well. So I'm just trying to show you the supplies that you'll need. So composition, cardstock or scrapbooking paper, book pages as tip-ins, and then you need duct tape. I just happened to pick this one up from the Dollar Tree. It happens to be hot pink, which works out perfectly. Scotch tape. And then she uses Fabri-tac as well. I happen to have it too. But, any sort of glue, if you want to use double-sided tape, I just don't know how well it will seal, because this is what we're using for the cover. And then glue stick, because for hers too, and this, so you understand the steps, she, in order to make these pages a little bit durable, she glues two together every single time. So then she'll go through it and then have them so that they have a little bit more weight, which I do tend to do, but I'll probably do that off camera and then, edit it out so that we'll glue some of the pages together. You'll need a collection of washi tape. This part you don't need, but at the end, when she has them all glued together, she gives every page a washi tape strip That one is optional. You don't have to do that, but I just pulled out a drawer from my washi tape cabinet. And then once the paper's on it and we have the duct tape to kind of reinforce the spine, she uses rickrack decorative trim, and she makes them, you know, really cute to kind of hide the seam where the duct tape ends and your cardstock from your paper begins. So I just have a few here. These are all from Hobby Lobby, I believe. Yeah, this is all Hobby Lobby. Oh, and she also sort of sometimes uses pom-pom trim. So that is what we're doing. So we're making a inexpensive, so that it, like I said, so it stays less precious than kind of using like a Leuchtturm or buying an Archer and Olive, which I do have, but like I said, I just don't want to use to dabble in junk journaling. So get a composition notebook, and we're going to make it all pretty. And for me as well, because hopefully it's posted already, that I made my recent strawberry shortcake charm bookmark dangle. So I'm hoping that I kind of stick with it, and then this is how it'll just stick into the spine and then be a very cute, very decorative you know, book to kind of have that, my first charm that I made in this style, sit on with this bookmark. So that's the whole goal. So I'm going to make this as user-friendly, and as much as I've learned from Leah, that's the one from Thrifty Day, because I've watched her video. She has two versions. She has a no-sew version, and then she has a sewing version in which she undoes all of the seaming, and then makes all the pages very a collection of different things to kind of like emulate like this. So she'll put in book pages and then have a page of the composition, and then she'll pamphlet stitch it back into the cover. So that just takes it to the next level. So I've watched the one that's no sew, which is just glue and tape and you know, glue stick. And I was like, you know what, that's manageable. So let me try to make one with you as well. So I'm not the first to create this. I'll leave her link down below, but we're taking her influence to make this one. And I think one last note too, since I made that strawberry shortcake charm when I was at Five Below, when I bought that, there was also this like set that came with some stickers of strawberry shortcake and this little activity book. And then in the activity book, it has some of these, they called them 6 posters. They're just these little images. So I think I'm just going to adorn one of these little images on my cover so that it matches with my little charm that I made, because I'm just, you know, a fan of, they had strawberry shortcake, they had Care Bears, which I also love, and I think they had a Lilo and Stitch little set like this. I'm just not a fan of Lilo and Stitch just yet, but when they had strawberry, I definitely was like, oh my God, and I made the charm already. Let me just buy that set. So I have some stickers to use in there too. So this is the avenue that I still might use some cardstock, but then put one of these cuties on it, so that I had this whole strawberry shortcake set is my theme. So first step, we are going to do the cover so that it can sit and dry is my first step. Then I want to, I'm thinking how it would be best, because I have to let it dry and then come back and then film some more. So yeah, I'll probably do the covers. We'll do that till it dries. And then if anything, I'm going to glue the pages together. That way, when I have everything, I can have it dry and lay heavy things on it so that it dries well. And then we'll do the next part on decorating it. Okay. So stick around. Let's make a no-sew junk journal out of a composition notebook together and go down a rabbit hole with me, because you know what she also uses it for? She puts in, like the month calendar, like a monthly spread, and uses it as her planner and to-do list, which I could use too. But I'm trying to just dabble into a place to put the junk receipts and stuff that don't make it into my scrapbooks, but I still hold on to it. And I want to have a home, so we'll put it in here and then make it pretty, you know? So that's the whole vision for this. So let's get started. And I'm going to be using my paper trimmer. Of course, you need that too. And making it so cute. And we'll do some tip-ins as well, because I think that's also fun to add more of the scrapbooking stuff. So let's go through. I think I had this paper. Yeah. Let's find paper that'll work, and with the little strawberry shortcake image that'll work, and go from there. Okay, my friends, come down the junk journal rabbit hole with me. So I selected this like pinky plaid argyle pattern paper, and then I select the little strawberry shortcake with the green background, even though I do like them all. Like all of them would have worked, but I think I selected in the end, yeah, this one with the green background is my final choice. So I don't measure either. So this is how easy this tutorial gets. I always literally just mark with a pencil like how high and how wide something is. And then we go ahead and cut. By all means, if you want to measure, go ahead and measure. Don't just take my word that it works out perfectly. But for this most part, for me, not measuring and just making little hash marks on where to cut works out just fine. So here I am using the Fabri-tac as my adhesive to get it along. By all means, you can use double-sided tape, score tape, all that stuff. Like I said, my inspiration is definitely just the Leah from Thrifty Day, and this is how she kind of gets it done. So by all means, I'm just following suit so that I can make something that is as close to hers as possible, simply because I just like her style. Her content, like I said, I will leave it linked down below, is great. She goes on lives too on Tuesdays if you're ever interested in following her. She really is a doll, and always creating. So that's always good. So that's my little, endorsement for her. So here I am just kind of going through all the papers I selected, and I have a ton. So this is a great way too to use up your stash. I know all of us as scrapbookers, we have tons of paper, and I believe this one, maybe Chamel, could be Paige. But we have it in our stash. So these are ones that not necessarily didn't get used, but are just still sitting in my collection and might as well use them up. By all means, you see me using glue and then using my fingers. If you don't want to use your fingers, don't do it. You can just adhere it down. I'm just trying to get like an even coat. And believe me, it does get your fingers, gross and slimy. The Fabri-tac is a very stringy, almost like syrup consistency. So yes, it was on my fingers for a little bit, but that stuff doesn't bother me. I'm a crafter, creator, and getting dirty is part of the fun, part of the therapy, part of the self-care. So I let that part dry. So I'm just like, okay, those are drying. Let me just go ahead and start gluing 2 pages together. This part is optional, but it does give it a little bit more weight to whatever you adhere, especially if you're going to put like packaging and cardboard, junk and stuff. I'm sure the weight will come in handy. So this is just Elmer's glue. This is the one that goes on purple and dries clear. And you're seeing I'm not being completely precise with it. I'm not exactly coating every square inch of the page. I am doing a few strikes, definitely the perimeter, and moving that chariot along. You can be more precise as well. Please don't make my tutorial be that you couldn't modify it. You can totally modify anything that I am doing in this tutorial. So I'm doing this part because all these kind of sections have to have time to set and dry. And so I think this took me, if it didn't take me like the morning and then let it dry and then come back with it in the afternoon, if I did it over 2 days, I cannot remember, but this is just part of that creative fun too. So I know I just posted the video of the journal charm that I made with the strawberry shortcake that is found at Five Below, and I tried to link it, but it seems to be sold out online. If you go to your store, you could get lucky and find it. It is in the little toy sections of figurines and stuff next to, and honestly, there's a whole like aisle of strawberry shortcake stuff, and that's where you will find it. So as you can see, double gluing the pages takes a little bit of time, but at least you're not sewing, because that's the whole thing. Like if you were to take it apart and then do the sewing part, it just means like a pamphlet stitch. So don't be intimidated by that too. If you kind of Google, Leah does have a sewing one, and simply because she takes like scrapbook paper or she takes like wallpaper samples and book pages and then just takes it all and then just does a pamphlet stitch right back into the notebook, still using the composition, but it's just more, I don't want to say secure, but in essence secure in that way. And so if I need round number 2, maybe we'll go that route. But if not, hey, a no-sew altered composition notebook for junk journaling is right up my alley, because at least in my experience and why I'm doing this with you is to make it be a little bit less precious. I feel like that would be my biggest hang up, because honestly, because I see the trend going around and I'm like, oh, I want to do that. Oh, I always have junk, but I don't want to use my good notebooks that I paid like $30-$40 for, like a Leuchtturm or an Archer and Olive, and I don't want the alligator mouth happening because of all the thickness. Even when you just add cardstock to those pages, especially Archer and Olive, I mean, those will get so thick so fast. So this is kind of that median point where I'm like, I guess when I was searching it, I want to do it. I don't want to do it that way, is there another way? Who else is out there doing the junk journaling? And lo and behold, came across the altered composition notebook, and I was like, this is it. This is where we're at. And since making it, I have already gone back to Walmart to pick up like four more composition notebooks now that they're only 50 cents because it's back to school season. So that in case this becomes a thing and I need it, hopefully I would think maybe 4 would get me through the year until next school year. At least that's my understanding. So you saw that I went in and put cardstock or pattern paper on the inside covers as well. And I do believe they are all different just because I don't think I had 2 of any of these papers. Usually my stash that's to the side of me at my desk are not to say the one-offs, but I tend to, before in my scrapbooking, have only bought 1 page per cardstock that I liked, and now I've gotten into the habit better where I don't buy the whole collection and just buy the ones I like and then buy them in triplicate and go from there. So now I would probably be able to do with something recent, maybe have matching 2 sheets. But for the sake of it, having 4 different pattern papers used, the more the merrier. Okay, so here I am going in with my now strawberry shortcake image. You already saw me do the washi tape. I did get bored putting the washi tape down the edge, so I will go back and do that part. It is not most necessary, but you saw me do a little bit before. So here I am with the duct tape in order to see like how thick it needs to be and then where it needs to lay. In my experience too, the duct tape is a good idea because it just reinforces the spine. This part can be skipped as well, but for reinforcing the spine in case it does get rather chunky with junk, I think it is a good step to kind of do just for that added support. That's all we're trying to do, is make more support. And know with duct tape too that adhesive is strong and it will get your scissors gunky. So if you have a gunky set of scissors designated for with glue, use that when you do this step as well, because the glue gets over everything. So me too, obviously, with us being scrapbookers, I have an extensive amount of trim. I have so much trim for the holidays. I have so much trim in flowers because flowers are my jam, that you can see I already auditioned out 3 different versions. Now, you may not have 3 different versions in your stash, but whatever trim you have, even if this was yellow rickrack or any color rickrack, that would do fine. I always refer to Leah. Leah, I think usually uses rickrack, and or she does have a daisy trim that is in most of hers too, that she gets in bulk on Amazon. And she does have a fabric store near her. She lives in Southern California. And I'm jealous that she has like an actual fabric store near her still. Like our Joann's here is gone, and if I need fabric, I have no idea where I would even go. Probably just Hobby Lobby. I think their fabric department is getting bigger. So here we are adding some tip-ins. Now for the tip-ins, I'm not measuring either. You saw me just do a hash mark, where am I going to cut? And I did make them a little bit smaller than the actual page, just so I didn't have to do extensive trimming. So they're just a hair shorter than the actual pages, which is fine. And she adheres them into her composition book just with scotch tape on both sides, which again, I just thought, how genius, because it's clear. Like usually I would be going in with washi, but then washi doesn't stick, and then you would have to use glue on the washi. But just using scotch tape was the quick fix. And again, I was just like, yeah, I never thought about doing a tip-in with scotch tape. Why is that? I always thought of washi when scotch tape is genius, especially because I know scotch tape comes in like glossy or matte finishes as well. So voila, I started matting in all these tip-ins, and I was like, I don't know why it was such a mind-blowing. I was like, oh my god, like clear tape. Yes, let's do that. But that's what we did. And so I'm just taking some that are double-sided, some that are just from paper pad, so they might be one-sided, which is like that Maggie Holmes flower one. There's nothing on the opposite side, which is fine too. And again, these are just adding tip-ins where you could just probably put them on your line paper too. So yeah, here's me with the scotch tape. And I was just like, when I was getting my supplies, I was like, that makes such sense. Like I always just have scotch tape at my desk for like wrapping gifts. But I don't, like for me, I don't know why I never thought about doing a tip-in without the scotch tape. I shouldn't confess this. Like I should be like, I knew this all the time. But I didn't. And then what she does too is starts to add ruffles and trim that she just kind of like ruffles out on the edges of the papers just to have this texture, tactile deliciousness at the edges of the book, which I'll be honest, I love it too. And so I started doing that with any of the scraps that I've recently done, because I have made a few little junk journals that I've been doing art in, and I think I covered that book also in fabric. So there were some scraps left around on my desk, even though I do have a box of it in my craft, you know, cabinets and stuff. But whatever was on hand at my desk is where we went with this one. And so I do tend to stop rather soon, just because I was like, well, I don't know like what the pages are going to be, or maybe I'll really go into my you know, fabric little basket and find something that actually matches rather than just me using what was close by. To each his own, but this is where, again, you can just get really creative. So here I am with that trim. This is the fabric that I use. It looks like it's printed like with the rainbow candy print. And look, I'm just going in with my tiny attacher. Voila. Again, we're not sewing. You could sew, but then you would also have had to sew it before you tipped it into your book. So just keep that in mind. But that would be adding sewing, and we're not sewing. We're not about that. This is no sewing, but we can use a stapler. So yeah, so this is the whole process. Like I said, I think this maybe have taken like a morning session and then everything dried and then me coming back in the afternoon, or I came back to it the next day. But needless to say, it's fun. It turned out oh so cute. Now I have my journal charm and my notebook ready to go, that I can start using up some of the things that grace my desk that I keep, like tags from clothing and receipts and packaging from things that I even want to keep. Like even I'm looking at right now, I had gotten the Tim Holtz alcohol inks, the neon ones, and the packaging that says like alcohol inks neon was in neon colors, and it looks so cool. And I'm like, what am I ever going to stick this on? But I kept it. I keep it because it's cool and I can't throw it away, but this is where we're going to start using it. You know what I mean? So if you're anything like me and you keep junk around because you have the intention of using it in some sort of memory keeping form, this may be your calling, because it's certainly something that sang to me when I was watching a few YouTube videos. And then you know how YouTube is, the algorithm's like, oh, you're looking at junk journals, let me show you this one and this creator and this creator. And so then you watch like a few girls consistently. And there are a few on YouTube that are killing it with the junk journaling and the collage soup books. And then I start buying those collage magazines. It's a whole culture. It's a whole trend. And I'm here for it. And I want to use my junk. So this is my way to start that process. Okay, everyone, I am going to stop right there with adding the trim and things onto some of those pages, just because I want to see how bulky it'll get without it, because it's already, you see how it's starting to get just some of that bulkiness, which is fine. The whole goal of it, I just want to see how it grows without making it completely bulky and staying open on its own. So you can see I've added pages. These are all ideas similar to what Leah does on her video. Like I said, I think I said it. I'll leave it linked down below so you can check out her tutorial as well. She does it more with like children book pages and stuff in there, but since I have such a large collection of scrapbook paper, why not go into my stash? And as you saw, some of them were very old collections that I was using, including this one. This one's from like a Maggie Holmes collection, I think Carousel. It was a random paper from the paper pad. And yeah, I did the washi tape on most of the pages. I just didn't do it in the back because I got tired. So again, it'll be a journal that grows with me. So I'm excited to just get started and start doing some layouts and putting the collages in here just from junk throughout, that we collect throughout our lives, and that I always have the urge to keep in scrapbooks, but never ever get there. So overall, the strawberry shortcake though, oh so cute. This tutorial should already be up on my channel, in which this will sit, just as I work on it, as a bookmark, not necessarily holding your spot in it, but as it sits on my table, or not sits on my table, it sits on my shelf, that all of this can be seen. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. So we have a little strawberry shortcake journal. I will leave as many of the supplies as I can. If anything, maybe I'll make an Amazon storefront with the things that I use. But like I said, it's composition notebook, cardstock, book pages if you want to, trim optional, the duct tape. I got that at Dollar Tree, so it's going to be hard, but I mean, I can put some versions that are available on Amazon to make it very easy for you. And I'll link Leah's version that I got my inspiration from. And then if you're interested in seeing this, pages come together, leave me a comment down below that you want to see, like, see junk journal pages come together. I can do that, or else this is just something that'll probably be done, off camera. I'm trying to think like how I would even show it off camera, and then just show you kind of layouts like on Instagram or something. Could be something that I can do. So yeah, let me know your feedback if you want to see some junk journaling spreads come together in here, and yeah, we can carry on with the series. And let me know if you also like to see more charms, because I can have a series on that too. Or if you're interested actually in purchasing them, I can go buy these if they're still there and have some available through me. So all sorts of things. Like I said, I've been going down a rabbit hole. I'm inspired. I got the tools to make it. I am having so much fun doing all of this. So thank you so much for joining me. Please give this video a thumbs up. It always helps my channel grow. Subscribe if you need to. Hit that bell notification so you know when I post. And until next time, everyone. Bye.